Ghost Cult Magazine is honored to welcome in Justine Jones of Employed to Serve. How are you doing, Justine?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. Like we actually have a summer in England for once. I must admit, I am one of those complaining because it's a little bit too hot.
I hear you. I hear you. I moved to where there are no seasons now, just one season. So that's pretty awesome. I simplified my life. Super stoked to chat with you on the occasion of Conquering coming out this September on Spine Farm Records. This feels like, at least on the press side, I spent some time with this record. You read all the, prepare all the notes, listen back to the catalog. And I feel like this record is really the culmination of everything you guys have been working towards.
Oh, cheers. Yeah, we're really stoked to sort of be releasing it. It was just something really fun to sort of concentrate on during the pandemic and just have something to do in this whole, 18 months of nothing, not really a year anymore. So yeah, it's been good.
Indeed. What is time? It means nothing. I feel like we've all been booped by the men in black or the doctor, and I just don't know. But we're trying to find our way through this thing, and I'm glad we have music, really inspiring music to help us get through. It has been a challenging time, and it sounds like, having the time, because I'm sure there was a different schedule in your life plan for this album to come out. Having more time, do you think that sort of, having the forced patience to sit with the music, to sit with the process, do you think that helped you guys kind of refine what you were doing?
Oh, 100%. Usually, like, it's such a, like, I mean, it's always enjoyable, but it is quite a stress, sort of like, 'cause you have a lot of deadlines and you have to really cram everything in, especially in between touring. And like, you never want to sort of like book studio time and then it be around festival season, or if you get like offered a support slot. So we kind of tend to always record in the winter because like not much happens like post Christmas or just before Christmas. So yeah, so like we actually kind of stuck to that this time. It's kind of cozy, just sort of locking yourself away for the winter. But yeah, it was just really nice to have the time and like the focus, because usually you're like your kind of mind is split between everything, like between socializing to preparing for an upcoming tour. So it's been actually quite nice not having to have like rehearsals for like a tour or anything like that to sort of contend with. We can just like focus on the album. And like this time around, I was able to spend a lot more time on like recording my vocals. Mainly due to I was a bit ill towards the end of last year, and like I just blew my voice out like on the first day. So it forced me to come back in the January to like record it like kind of over the weekends and stuff. It's worked out lots better because I used to kind of cram vocal recording in about 2 to 3 days, and I realized it's actually not that good for your voice. So yeah, it's been a lot nicer this time, and I'm actually probably gonna do exactly the same thing again in the future albums, I think.
Right. See all this unfortunateness in the world. There have been some good outcomes not nothing to crow about, but little things, little wins, learning things about ourselves, learning things about our craft. Yeah, it definitely sounds like the most varied, wide ranging vocal performance you've done on record to date to me. I love all the different sort of flavors of your voice that you've been using. And I was going to ask also lyrically if, just kind of the extra time built in, a chance to, spend a longer time with the lyrics. Lyrics are always a highlight for me of this band beside the music. So I love the lyrics. I love your storytelling.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's just sort of like, yeah, it's just been really, really good. Because I think everyone also felt a little bit burnt out, like on from all walks of life. So having that sort of breakaway and that sort of time for reflection, like I've actually had a real nice time to sort of sit and realize how fortunate we were as a band to have so many opportunities. After I got over the whole strop and tantrum of not being able to leave my house. So like, yeah, like it was just quite nice. And, it's just made me like kind of come back after this lockdown. I feel like I can speak for the whole band in this case, like just really raring to go and excited about what like the future holds. So yeah, like, and I feel like that kind of reflected in the positivity in the lyrics. Like, although we still touch on things like mental health and everything like that, like it's still has a positive spin and sort of like a perseverance and, trying to be a better person despite any struggles that you face in life.
I love it. I have always been a fan of the positive mental attitude that the band permeates through your words and your performances. And I mean, not quite like a diary, but it's been really great and necessary and needed that this is a band that puts this, mental health front and center on Front Street, if you will, because, there's still a stigma. I think there's a stigma against, all genders in heavy music, that, we're supposed to be unhinged and crazy because it's aggressive music. And, we also can scream about needing help and scream about needing a hug and scream about needing a day away. There's nothing wrong with those things.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like, I think listening to heavy music is a lot healthier outlet than, drinking too much or doing drugs or anything else that sort of like can be quite bad for you. So it's just quite nice to see. I think like loads of bands are sort of, sort of flying the flag for talking about my mental health, and yeah, it can only be a good thing. I just think it would just be better for everyone.
I actually saw a really cool report a few months ago. I think it was shared by one of my favorite YouTubers, Beth Roars, that actually the most aggressive music actually makes fans of aggressive music comforted and happy, which is amazing to have proof.
Yeah, maybe it's how bassy it is. It's the sort of like chill vibrations of the of the kick drum through the PA.
Indeed, indeed. And so, again, the band is firing on all pistons, and I know vocally it's always you and Sammy. When you guys are writing together, do you plan kind of vocal parts? How does that work in the sort of the creative process? Do you not think about it and see what comes up? How do you guys work it out?
It kind of varies. So like Sammy sometimes writes, so he's like our main songwriter. So sometimes he actually writes with lyrics in mind, or at least a chorus. So sometimes he writes entire songs. Or like another thing that we do is that I have like a lyric book that I sort of like write in like as frequently as I can throughout a year, and I tend to sort of like send him certain pages that I think will fit, and then we sort of sit together and he arranges sort of things like patterns and stuff, just because like he's just a lot better than I am, so I kind of leave him to it, and it's less work for me anyway. So yeah, like it's a combination really. So we kind of like share vocal writing duties. But I since feel like, we've been dating since like we're now married, but we've been dating since we were 16. So I kind of feel like we know each other very well. So our lyrics are kind of very translatable to each other. So it kind of works well.
There's definitely got to be pluses and minuses to being in a band with your spouse and partner. Not that you have to discuss any of them, but yeah, I would imagine there's on a positive sense, there's probably a good synchronicity sometimes between the two of you.
Oh, for sure. Like I feel like it's a big part of a healthy relationship, doing something that you love doing together. Like hobbies, even if it's like something like running, or ours is band stuff and running a record label. So I think yeah, the only sort of pitfalls you need to like make sure you look out for is to not sort of bring your work home with you, so to speak, and sort of moan about the work day, or like if something didn't go quite right. I think we're quite good at that now as the years have gone by. We just sort of chilled out a lot more now that we're in our late 20s as well. I think comes with maturity. I think, well, still immature sometimes, but I think
That's
we're better
okay.
when we're
You gotta
20.
stay youthful in your spirit,
Mm,
and then age up appropriately.
yeah.
It's interesting that you say maturity, because it has been a transition. Employed to Serve started out as kind of the new band, the buzz band, the band everybody was talking about. And now you guys are veterans in this scene that you are leaders of for a variety of reasons. I'm sure there wasn't any pressure on you from Spine Farm, but did you feel like an internal pressure with Conquering to kind of make kind of a more statement record, sort of almost back to your first releases? When a band is brand new, they have something they want to tell everybody. And I think it's the same thing when you become a veteran band too.
But yeah, I wouldn't like, yeah, we definitely felt sort of driven to do it. I wouldn't say we felt sort of like pressured or anything like that. Like it was more of like a want or like a fire to sort of really want to, go big or go home with this record. Like we really wanted to take advantage of the time that we've never had before. We have a brand new lineup because our previous members, Robbie and Rich, have like left the band sort of to pursue like their hobbies, and they like, want to start families and stuff. So it was kind of use that sort of like, to sort of revamp and like really like kind of try and write the best album we could, and set like this new record Conquering apart from our last records. Like, so I feel that Warmth of a Dying Sun and Eternal Forward Motion, like I feel like they are different, but I feel like it was sort of on a similar kind of line. So with this record, we want to really sort of work on songwriting and just writing songs that we feel translate really well live in bigger sort of venues and like in festivals. So I felt like songs like Spend My Days and Force Fed and songs like that. They were so much fun for us to play live, and I think we got more reaction out of that from the audience. We kind of went, oh, how can we sort of replicate this into a whole album without it sort of like being samey? So yeah, I feel confident that we've managed to achieve that. So hopefully everyone will feel the same.
Right on. Yeah, personally, I love those tracks. Obviously, Exist is the single and it's phenomenal. I do love World Ender and Set in Stone also. Those have like very big, what I feel will be big crowd moments, and a lot of choppy riffs and fight riffs and punchy parts, as I like to call them, the punchy sections. And yeah, it's a very varied record. It's not, none of your records have been monotonous, but it's a very, there's a nice journey in the sequencing. The tracks are different from one to the next. A lot of bands can't pull that off in the writing. And, again, I think it just you said maturity, so I'll let you have that. It is, every group goes through a maturation process. So I think that's what we're seeing here with you guys.
Oh, thank you very much.
And obviously, as a person who it's been a tough time, and as you are a person that yells into a stick for a living, when will you feel, obviously, I think you guys played the download pilot, and I wanted to ask how that went for you, and how was your comfort level, and did you have any anxiety about taking the stage? And they were very. It seemed to go well. By all reports, it seemed to be very done as well as could be.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Like, I was obviously nervous on the lead up, but I had a little sit down and chat with myself going like, you have not played a show in 18 months. What happens. Like we practiced for like, we had like weeks and weeks of practice. So we had like a lot of preparation and stuff. And I was just like, I'm just going to enjoy every moment because I don't know if I'm going to play another show this year. And I just thought, going into it with that mentality just made the whole thing like so enjoyable. I just went on stage going, I've got this, like, just smash it. And fortunately, muscle memory took over. And since everyone like it was like, hadn't been to a show either or anything for ages, it was just quite a nice experience for everyone. I feel it's very cathartic.
Amazing. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. We are slated to cover Bloodstock, which we always love and do. And, we have many very deep roots and a lot of staff in the UK. So I'm just hoping for the best for all of us. And I'm cautiously optimistic. America seems to be very gung-ho about festivals and shows. And I have not been to a show myself. I can relate to the 18 months. I haven't been to a show in like 550 days. And I'm dying a little inside, but also... yeah, who's counting? But also, I feel like, yeah, my personal, as a journalist, as a fan, as a photographer, I'm interested in how I'm going to do when I get back in front of in a room. Rock and metal and all our shades of subgenres is a very intimate style of music. You want to be on top of people. You want to feel the crowd. You want people singing along. I know you're comfortable in any setting, but surely you guys started in the clubs, and that to me is still the spirit of this music. So we need to get through this period of time and overcome this plague and all that stuff. So
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like it's going to take a hot minute for people to sort of get back to normal with it, because I understand like it's so nerve-wracking being told if you got to go outside, you're gonna die for 18 months to being straight to thousands of people can now go to a festival. I think it is going to take a little while, but I feel, like you said, cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping with the vaccine, everything sort of sorts things out. Otherwise, I'm not going to plan too much ahead of a week, I think, and just stick to my day to day.
Right on. We definitely, it's possible that all the death metal and grindcore and black metal and some of the thrash metal, we wish this on ourselves a little bit. We talked about plagues and famines and horribleness for many years, as a storytelling device, and now it happened. But okay, we'll live.
Yeah,
we'll
when theatre turns into real life.
Exactly. And who knows? Like I said, it didn't seem to happen politically between our varied nations in the world in states of disrepair. But I was hopeful that the period before the pandemic was going to lead to this nouveau art, this very punk rock aesthetic that was going to be very angry and smart. You guys have had very, poignant lyrics, not just personal ones, but poignant ones politically too. And I appreciate that because it's needed. Some people are afraid to speak up and speak out and, put that out there. They're concerned about the blowback or, engaging fans. You are not. You are not. You have been, defiantly who you are, which I like too. It's all compliments today. I love this record. Also, just as we start to wind down to the end here, I just have a couple more for you. Obviously, you guys are thriving with Church Road Records. It's also your business. So you not only have your band with your partner and your husband, but your business. So no break for you guys ever. I'm sure it's work. 18 hours, 24 hours a day. But yeah, you guys have been killing it with Church Road. Congratulations on all your hard work. I know it came from a kind of started with a dark place, but you guys are really doing some groundbreaking stuff here and some of my favorite releases. And I wanted to ask you about the releases you're looking forward to coming soon from the label, if you want to promote them.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yes. Been a weird one, but we're very happy to sort of start, doing something positive out of a horrible situation. So releases we're looking forward to. God, we've got releases scheduled for the next 12 months, which is mental. So we're very excited about a lot. But I guess the key ones, we're releasing the new Filth is Eternal record. That's in August. We're partnering up with Quiet Panic from the US to release this. It's got touring members of Cattle Decapitation, Daughters, and He Who Ops Gores. God, I can't remember that. He Who Ops Gores. I can never say that properly. And then we've got a new Slow Crush record coming as well, which I think will be announced by the time this comes out. If not, this is a little sneak leak. And we've got a new Voices record as well. And we've got so many records I'm really excited about. And I'm hoping they'll get all the attention they deserve, really.
Great. I imagine these records have been in the works for a while. Any concerns? I know there's a lot of buzz right now about vinyl, and maybe there's going to be a lack of the ability to get vinyl pressed in a prompt time. I already see releases staggering. I saw the new Melvins has the digital coming out in October, and then the vinyl not until the winter. So, which is fine with me. I'm patient and I will wait for my vinyl. But as a record label owner, do you have any concerns?
No, because I kind of just feel like fortunately the whole world is in the same boat. So I think it's just an issue that's across the board. Like vinyl delays are like 6 to 9 months at the moment, and they're only usually 3 months to press. So I think it's taken a little while for everyone to adapt to that. But I think we got touch wood. I think most of our releases should be on time, because we managed to get most of the first half of next year's releases in production now, which has been a wild ride. But yeah, I think fans are very understanding. I think just as long as you're transparent and you're like, look, there's a separate vinyl release date, and it's such a common thing across the board at the moment. I think it's just something that's going to be the norm for a little while. I'll be honest, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. We had a whole year of the pandemic and Brexit not being an issue, but now it's finally caught up with us. But I think it will improve. There's pressing plants increasing capacity as we speak. So I think it will only be a matter of time before they're up and running. Nice. It will make it all the worth the wait, I think, when they finally do arrive.
We'll make do, we'll make do. We'll wait until then. I always like to end these interviews with a wild card question. So I have carefully chosen one for you, which is this. If you could go back to the beginning of your career as an artist, a musician, and give yourself one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be to young Justine?
Ooh, stress less. I used to get stressed over the tiniest little things that really don't matter. And being in a band for so long, a lot of things have not gone to plan, whether it's breaking down on tour or things like that. I just think those things you just can't change. So you might as well just roll with it and don't be a salmon and go upstream.
Words of wisdom from future Justine to young Justine. Justine Jones, it has been a real pleasure to chat with you and hear you share your story. Hails to your band. All the best success on Conquer. And that's coming out September 17th on Spine Farm Records. And just a pleasure to see you and speak to you. And I hope next time we get to do this in person on your side of the world or mine.
Thank you very much for having me. I hope you all enjoy the record.